Police say one Milford Street medical business was the victim of telephone fraud after multiple lines were apparently compromised. They say the alleged hacker exploited the breach for about $2 million in foreign phone calls. Now, while this is the first complaint filed by Hogan's campaign, it's certainly not the first one that we've seen overall. Reports show that in July, the Maryland Democratic Party did file a complaint, but against Hogan. If approved, the school would be built here in Milford, housing grades 9 through 12, with a capacity of about 1,400 students. This is the last place Guzman's family says that they saw him. The idea? Close online deals in public, such as the parking lot or in the office of the Queen Anne County Sheriff's Office. Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia all have bans against texting while driving. So why do so many people still have trouble kicking this potentially disastrous habit to the curb? Beautiful weather, exceptional launch conditions, and then about 6 seconds after liftoff, the Orbital 3 Antares rocket malfunctions, prompting a safety officer to hit the self-destruct button, exploding the spacecraft in mid-air. A fireball fueled by liquid oxygen and kerosene, scattering flaming debris below in the hazard zone at Wallops Island Flight Facility.
On behalf of Dave Thompson and the entire Orbital team, we do want to express our disappointment that we were not able to fulfill our obligation to the International Space Station program and deliver this load of cargo.
Disappointed but thankful, NASA officials say that no one was injured in Tuesday's failed launch. Officials say it's far too early to indicate exactly what went wrong with the unmanned rocket. Orbital Services, the supplier of the Antares rocket, will be leading the investigation with help from NASA and the Mars team, which oversaw operations on the launch pad.
This is an accident site, and it is a rocket, and it had a lot of hazardous equipment or hazardous materials on board that people should not be looking for or wanting to collect souvenirs over.
From hazmats to hardware, at least $200 million worth of equipment was destroyed. And then there's the cargo, about 5,000 pounds of food, clothing, and equipment, which this rocket was supposed to take to the International Space Station. According to NASA, the station has enough supplies until next March. Even so, Russia launched its Progress spacecraft on Wednesday morning to meet up with the ISS. Back at Wallops, officials say repairing the launch pad will be a top priority.
We will determine the root cause, and we will correct that, and we will come back and fly here at Wallops again, hopefully in the very near future.
Lili Zheng, 47 ABC.
Fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants.
A monumental decision announced on Thursday night, easing the threat of deportation for nearly 5 million undocumented immigrants. But the executive action granting a temporary relief has stirred mixed feelings amongst Delaware lawmakers.
We're supposed to have a balance of powers, and for him to just decide to go around Congress for this decision, I think, was wrong.
Even so, District 21 Representative Bryant Richardson tells 47 ABC he does believe President Obama has the right attitude. The plan, remember, is not a path to citizenship. It's a chance for families that have been here for at least 5 years to apply for temporary relief and a work permit. That's if they pass a background check and start paying taxes. In addition, it expands to people who were brought here to the U.S. as kids.
The circumstances for some of those families is pretty tragic. We need to show compassion. We also need to take into consideration that our country can do just so much,
According to the Delaware Division of Public Health, there were over 71,000 immigrants living in the first state in 2010. Senator Chris Coons tells us this executive action could move the U.S. into the right direction by deporting dangerous criminals rather than breaking up loving families. He says, quote, "Although I wish it were not necessary, the president is acting within his legal authority. It is my hope that in the new Congress, House Republicans will come to the table to finish this crucial work," end quote. Because this was an executive action.
Technically, the next person could end it with a stroke of a pen the first day they're in office. But I do think once you have several million people with that status, it will be politically more difficult to just immediately end it.
5-year-old Ava loves puzzles, coloring, and Play-Doh. Just like a typical 5-year-old girl, she loves when her mother, Nicole Barron, paints her nails. You wouldn't know the battle the family fights every day, watching little Ava grow up with an inoperable tumor.
She knows that she has a boo-boo in her head. For right now, that's been an acceptable. She's got a boo-boo in her head.
Last August, Ava was diagnosed with DIPG, a tumor growing in the base of her brainstem. According to DIPGregistry.org, less than 10% of children survive 2 years after being diagnosed. Given just another year to live, the family remains hopeful and continues treatment like chemotherapy.
She has a fabulous team who really does know what they're doing. They are trying everything they absolutely can to fix everything, but there's only so much we can do.
While the tumor has grown since August, so has the unbelievable support for Ava. A number of fundraisers have been set up by Nicole's friends, including local restaurants, one of which she used to work for before leaving to take care of Ava full-time, plus a GoFundMe account, money to help with the cost of traveling for treatment at Johns Hopkins every 2 weeks, and planning for the future.
What the proceeds are going to go towards if what they say is going to happen happens, so my baby has a proper burial. That's what it's really going to do. I'm praying that we don't get there, that everything does what it's supposed to do.
With tough days still ahead, Nicole says she and the family are staying strong, especially Ava.
I have to keep it together for her. If she can go through all she's going through and go on every day like a little trooper, like nothing, you wouldn't know anything's happening, I can't have a breakdown every day.
Lili Zheng, 47 ABC.